Welcome to the start of our MyTeam series for F1 2023. Now, we're gonna name our team the Paniel F1 Racing, where we got Xenon Dynamics for the signing bonus, Mercedes engine for the reliability, and Duan because he has the same rating as the $1 million a year person. So let's get right to it.
New year, new drivers, new team. Welcome and great to have you with us as we move far away from the paddock to the headquarters of the newest outfit on the Formula One grid. We've been granted exclusive access with an interview not just with the team owner or the star driver, but both. Because for the first time in modern F1 history, the team owner is behind the wheel themselves. Now is a great time to bring a new team into the sport, particularly off the back of such compelling competition last year. 2022 saw huge regulation changes, and it was Red Bull who came out on top in the development race. But that was last year. This year could be a very different story. Let me tell you, this facility is an absolute hive of activity, and there is a palpable sense of excitement around the car they've built. Quietly, they truly believe they can challenge at the top, and they've had the time now to craft a hugely competitive race car. But theory is one thing, and taking on the brightest lights in motorsport is quite another. So how does the owner of F1's 11th team feel as they prepare to be thrust into the limelight of the F1 circus? New driver lineups, Qatar returns, Las Vegas debuts, and the engineering race continues to push the sport and the drivers to new heights. What are they aiming for? Most excited about? Most nervous for? Well, soon we will meet them to find out. But first, let's take a look at the brand new car.
Damn, look at that car. I mean, of course we went with something for us. The black, the red, the gray. That's my signature colors right there. Damn, that looks good.
Well, hi. Thank you so much for having us. Great to be here. I'm going to start with the question that everyone is asking.
So,
It's been a long time since
we've been, you know, since they haven't
car,
really changed a lot.
A lot's changed since then.
You know,
The sport has really
we
evolved.
basically
so how are you gonna manage the
are just gonna,
responsibility of doing both
you
roles?
know, choose the same options because these are basically the same choices, same questions from last year, except it's Natalie Pinkham instead of
Tell me about your teammate. They're clearly
Will
very
Buxton.
excited
Was it Will
to
Buxton?
have signed with you.
Something
What do they bring to the
Buxton.
team?
So here, just say something. We just basically gonna say something nice about our teammate because it doesn't really change anything, you know, in terms of like morale. Now
So tell me about
this
the work
is
on
where
the
we
car. It's clearly a blank
have to
canvas.
be
You've
careful
done a
what we
lot.
choose, since
What have you prioritized?
we want to focus on chassis and aero. We're gonna balance it out, and for here we're gonna choose chassis first.
Now, there's no getting away from
And
the
then
fact
for
that your
this one, you know,
competitors have a
since
huge
this is
amount
going to
of
be a
Formula One
balancing act, because
experience. You are a
every
total newcomer.
department we
Tell us where
answer,
you see
they're
the
going to get a
opportunities to
tiny
make those
car
vital
upgrade from it.
performance gains.
And here we're going to go with the aero choice. So we have an upgrade on our aero department. For this
Now,
one,
ultimately, your
we're doing
success this
another
season will be
aero
determined by whether you
component
can take
upgrade,
positions
because
from
we
other
know
drivers.
when we get to the last
Do you
question,
believe this car has
we're
the edge?
going to go for the chassis. And
with so many
here is where we
disciplines
get
and
the
experts
chassis,
working so
because
closely together
here,
at your HQ, who
whichever
gets
department you
the
answer on
coveted
this
Teachers
section
Gold Star? Who are you
will
most proud of
get
as the
the
first race edges ever
Spec 1
closer?
upgrade.
Well, I could talk to you all day. Thank you so much for your time, but I better let you get back to work. There's plenty more still to do. All the very best for your inaugural F1 season.
And there we have it. We start off our F1 season going through some of the activity timeline. See, we have 6 choices here. And we're gonna go for the preseason merchandise because money, and driver training camp. Why? Because increases our driver stats and we get resource points from it too, which we do kind of need. And then here's just the messages. It's the usual same messages, nothing really much of importance because this is basically introduction, doodah, and all that stuff. So you could see here that chassis immediately is spec 1 because we gave them the golden star. And in the aerodynamics, since we answered 2, we saw 2 component upgrades, while in chassis we only had 1 component upgrade. So we're going to get another component upgrade for chassis so we can get that weight reduction and weight distribution done. I'm going to go fast forward, get some extra weekly resources, which should allow us to get another upgrade. So we're gonna go to chassis, we're gonna get another upgrade from chassis, so it kind of balances things out. We got 2 upgrades for chassis, 2 upgrades for aero. And now since we have extra money, we want to go focus on some analysis suite so we can get our teammate doing some help. And this is a no-brainer pace because we kind of want our teammate to be fast and to get to score more points. At least that's my, of course, awareness also helps and all that stuff. But, I mean, you could be aware all you want, but if you're slow, you're slow. So, there we go. And then
our new parts have completed without issue.
Well, here we are in the Bahrain GP, and we're going straight to our qualifying session, as I'm not looking very optimistic about this because we have a tractor of a car, and here we go, starting our first flyer lap right behind Ocon. We're racing already in qualies. We dive a bit inside. We already ruined both of our times because Ocon couldn't put behind us. Like, it's not our fault. He was like hounding us in like the last sector where we were very, very like far ahead. We're like, so should have slowed down. But these AIs, they're just very aggressive, and yet you could rule them about at the same time. And here we go, heading to the last section as we're completing our final qualifying lap because we had a stinker. Look at that, we're already 1.2 seconds ahead of our first lap, and we finished P13. It's not bad. We get into Q2. That's not a bad result. That is not a bad result. So now our question is, where is our teammate? And 21st and eliminated. But hey, they finished ahead of the Re. That is the important thing. They finished ahead of the Re. Now in Q2, we're on our last lap. Guys, qualifying just ended, and we're 7/10 above our first run. So will this be enough to push us to Q3? I doubt it. But we just hit P10. We just made it to Q3 on this tractor of a car. And the gap, oh my god, that's a slim gap. That's 500ths, about 500ths of a second between us and Alonso. Man, I don't know what happened, but that is crazy. That is really crazy. Here we go, Q3, our last run, and we're approaching the final corner. We're already up by 7/10. Could we actually move up past P10? And as we cross the line, what do we get? Oh, never mind. We got P10. Maybe it was too much hope. Too much copium that we would reach past P10. Wow, we were a 10th slower than Bottas, who was just 9th. Man, I have a tractor of a car. Let's go.
Fantastic race. Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round one of this year's Formula One World Championship. We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Leclerc, Hamilton, Gasly, Norris, Bottas, Roberts, Fernando Alonso, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Stroll, Albon, Magnussen, Joe, Tsunoda, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Sargent, Doohan, Sargent. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as once again we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice. They've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
And the lights are out. We have a little speed on the start, but it was still a decent start compared to Bottas. We quickly overtake. We get into 8th place, and we head down, go deep, and overcut everyone. And we still get in front of Perez. We jump from 9th to 4th. Well, you don't see that every day. I will tell you that much. But we are kind of sniffing the back of Hamilton right here, and we're still on lap 1, and we're kind of keeping up, which is a bit of a surprise because this car is just a tractor. I can tell you that much. How I got it to 10th place in qualies, I don't even know how I made it to Q3, but we're gonna make do what we have, and you could see just their takeoff is so much better. They just have the rear downforce. They just have a better aerodynamic car, where for us not so much, because look at our gap. Our gap is just, their gap is just gone. It's like 0.6 already. And if that's how it's going to play and we don't burn some ERS, then we're just going to be losing so much time. And it's what? 5? No, that's more than 5. That's 7 tenths-ish? 7, 8 tenths down, and we're just gonna keep on losing because we don't have that weird downforce that, I feel like we are so used to. And there you go, there goes Perez, and we give him space on the inside. We still go out wide, but we're gonna lose time against, we're gonna keep falling back behind Hamilton because Perez, look at Perez. Perez is just gonna keep howling at us at this rate because our car is out of place. I will tell you that much. Our car is nowhere close to where it's supposed to be in. We're like, look at our teammate Doohan, who's all the way down at 21. We're supposed to be in, like, I don't know, I guess somewhere in the top 15, I would say, if anything. But no, we're in 4th. We're trying to make do with what we have, and you just see like look at he's just right behind us the entire time, and then all the way behind and all the way at the back you can see that we can already see a DRS train, but you see like the middle pack there from that back shot. It's just really close because look at the timings. So like from Gasly downwards, if you look at the timings on the left, like they're all within a second of each other, maybe except Bottas, who's barely over there. And he goes for a dive, but we keep the outside, and we're just going through. And Perez lost a lot of time to that, and he gets overtaken by Perez because, oh, Leclerc. I'm sorry, I just read the wrong name, but now we have two cars. We have a Red Bull and a Ferrari howling at the back of our car, and they're losing a bit of time because they're also squabbling between themselves. So it's giving us a bit of like at least half a second of breathing space, but our car is not there, so we're gonna keep on just going along, chugging along. We're not our fight is not in the top three. That is for sure. Like the top three can squabble among themselves, and you can already see like Sainz already built up a 2-second lead because Hamilton and Verstappen are duking it out for position. And this is like some of the things I'm actually happy to see. Like the AI are losing to are losing time because they're battling each other, they're taking like a very narrow line or maybe too wide of a line going into turns, so then poor exits. And so to me, I kind of like that they kind of updated the AI to where like they're not always gonna have the perfect line, or not gonna have the perfect. Oh, and we're playing a bit of DRS chicken because Perez goes again. We kind of squeeze him to the outside, and now we have DRS. Well, Perez doesn't, and that's gonna be an easy overtake for Leclerc. And we're gonna be that's a good strat we actually employed there, playing some DRS chicken, but now they'll have DRS against us, so which is why we're gonna end up using a bunch of our battery here. Because look, we got what we built up a second lead because we had DRS against Perez. Leclerc kind of had to negotiate his way past Perez, the minister of defense, but not so much defense when the car at the back of you has DRS on a freaking long front straight. But yeah, so we're kind of keeping that gap a bit, but we already know, like, this is where we lose a lot of time. Look at that 3 tenths lost in turn 10. It's just I can't get on the gas too early because it's just not possible. I mean, I guess if you're a really good enough driver, then probably you can with a tractor of a car that has like probably the worst aero chassis aero chassis is kind of like your Achilles heel, a bit of durability, and then depending who your engine manufacturer is, then you'll be fine. Which in this save, we actually stuck with Mercedes. Why? Because I'm scared of the reliability issues that we have. And here we go, Leclerc going past through us, and we're gonna go for switch up, take the narrow side and kind of push him out. I mean, and with that we have DRS going to the second DRS sector, section right here, and Leclerc is gonna lose his position to Perez. It's at this point we know that we don't have the best car, but since we don't have the best car, we try to use some strategy, some tactics to get an edge. And in this case, what we've been doing since DRS has been activated is we've been playing some DRS chicken and kind of playing a bit with the elbows out, kind of pushing them a bit wide if you have the inside line, or when we have the outside line, we just squeeze them a tiny bit, but still leave them enough space because the AI are still aggressive. Earlier when I was playing in a co-op game, I was punted by Albon. Yes, literally, I got punted by Albon, and I DNF'd. Before that, the Vri got really ambitious, and I had the racing line going into an apex. I was already leading. I got spun by the Vri because he didn't back out. So it's just really hard. And here we go, playing more DRS chicken. That was questionable. We didn't leave him that much space. But we got DRS again. But here's the thing. Like, we got DRS. But we never got that much separation. I feel like, we got two tenths from that. But like, that's we were seeing 1 second earlier, but now we're like seeing 2/10 separation after activating the DRS, and now there's half a second between us and Perez. It's just, and then when we go here, we're gonna lose more time again. It's just nothing's gonna work for us right now. That's just unfortunately how it is going. And look at this, we've been holding the field. We're holding the field back because if you look up ahead of us, we have a 6.6 second gap, and all the squabbling, negotiating, all the DRS chicken. See, we lifted off there so Perez can go through, but that was a mistake for our side because we let him go through too much and too far ahead. And even though we have the DRS, like, we're not really catching up. But we got 3/10. We kind of dive it. Okay, yeah, we don't dive it on there. So since we couldn't really get close and deep enough, and we couldn't get on the accelerator fast enough, and Perez already has a 1.3 second lead. And then now Leclerc's attacking us. The floodgates have opened. He kept it outside. Leclerc loses some time as he kind of had a tiny bit of a moment there, as you see his car kind of squiggle. And as you see here, Leclerc, more tears. He ran a bit wide, but we had a better exit on turn 1. And now we have DRS 2, so we're just gonna go straight. We have a 2 second, 3 second, and Leclerc falls down. Leclerc continues to fall down the order, and oh no, he has a mechanical failure. And there goes Leclerc's race. First race of the year, and he already has an engine issue. I'm going to assume it's an engine issue. It's Ferrari. And that's also the reason why I didn't go with a Ferrari engine, because this is what I'm scared of. It's like, it's the first race of the season and you see a mechanical failure. That's just not, I kind of don't want to sacrifice that. Like, yes, they have the better output, but their durability is horrendous. And there goes Leclerc's race. Now, everything is up to Sainz now, who has a 2 second gap against Verstappen. But we know with that Red Bull, it's just gonna keep on chugging. But since we see Hamilton and Verstappen just duking it out, it's, nothing's gonna happen. Oh, what happened here? Perez? Verstappen pits. Okay, I was like, what happened to Verstappen? And you see a bunch of people starting to pit. As for us, we do pit, and we have a wheel issue. The wheel got stuck on our pit. Oh my god, that cost us some. That cost us, like, let's say 1, 2, 3 seconds. That was a horrible pit stop. Now we're what, 11 seconds behind Sargent, but we came out in front of Alonso. That's a good thing. We didn't lose a position to Alonso. So now, since everyone up here still hasn't pitted, everyone that's ahead of us still hasn't pitted, so we have a good chance. We might end up just right behind Perez on once everyone in front of us spits. But man, that was just an unlucky pit for us. And let's go see that pit replay again. Here we see we're going into the pits. We're the last team on the pit straight. We go in, and you just see that wheel get stuck, man. Okay, and here we go back on the front straight. And we see that a lot of drivers are pitting, and we're just passing on by, and we come out ahead of Gasly, but we're still 8 seconds behind, almost 9 seconds behind Perez. And as you can see, Alonso is behind us. He is slowly catching up. And never mind, take that slowly out. He goes from like 0.8 to half a second behind us, so kind of screwed here a bit. And Gasly is 2.3 seconds behind us, so that's a good of a gap. That's good of a gap. I don't think we lost. The only time we really lost is to Alonso with that issue. We had a disaster of a pit stop, I would say, because of that issue on the front left wheel. That's unfortunate. And here we go, Alonso on the back of us. We kind of did a double move there, but he didn't pass us, which is, it wasn't close enough to really pass us. So we just went back on the line, took the normal racing line, and here we go. We get off this turn. Alonso has a good exit, and there he goes. He's gonna sling on by, but we're playing some DRS chicken here. We're letting him by, and we're gonna spend some ERS right here just to keep behind Alonso, get that DRS open, go on his sides. He gives us a bit of a squeeze, and you just hear the engine whining as we hit the top speed of that, and we get Alonso cuts turn 2. I wonder, did he take any floor damage from that, because that was a high curb, and because of all that fighting between me and Alonso, you see that Gasly and Norris are basically on this train with us, and Russell, Magnussen, and Stroll is just 2 seconds down the road. Where this is getting really heated for us. It just depends on how long can we hold out 5th place. And oh no, we see Alonso's engine goes up in smoke. Man, I was about to say that he chose Mercedes for their reliability, but we see Alonso here with a mechanical failure, because we saw that engine smoke pop off. And now we just see Gasly is now the next person up that will challenge us. So far we've been doing well defensively, a bit elbows out, some DRS chicken, and with the elbows out. We're kind of holding 5th place. I think the only mistake we did was against Perez. I feel like we should have, used a bit more ERS, kept close with him, not let him completely own the turn or the corner, and challenge him a bit so he loses a bit of time. Especially with how the AIs are, they make more mistakes. They don't have perfect exits anymore. They can get really slow if, they're fighting before and after a corner, going through a corner. So I feel like that was our only mistake against Perez. Maybe we could have kept that 4th place. Maybe it's one of those what ifs. Like, would we be really able to hold on 4th and hold off a Red Bull, which is basically the best car in the entire grid at this point? So it's just some, I would say, food for thought. And here we go. Kind of hold off. The back straight is not a really long straight. So we were really just able to hold up Gasly and his DRS. And here we go. We're approaching the 3rd sector, and we already know our strat here. Some DRS chicken. Use a bit of ERS, keep close, and we go a bit late on the brakes. We contest it. Oh, there's some contact. between us and Ocon, but that allows us to... Oh, and there goes Norris. Norris was playing coy the whole time. And through goes Norris. But, we go inside. We go 3 wide into turn 1. And we kind of negotiated with turn 2, kind of squeeze Gasly out. And we're just... And we have DRS too, and Gasly's losing. And Russell joins the party. It's a 4-car battle now for 5th place with 6 laps to go. We are just insane with what we're doing right now. It's just, I don't even know anymore what's going on. It's just been a crazy race. Here we go again. Back straight. Gasly, Russell, Norris joins the party. No, not Norris. Stroll joins the party now. It's a 5-car battle for 5th. They're just gonna all take their turns. They're gonna try to, abuse the fighting that goes on with the cars in front of them to maybe they could go, they could be a little cheeky and maybe gain a place, maybe 2, And he squeezes Gasly in. Gasly has the inside line. Does Russell go for the switch out? He does go for the switchback, but he doesn't have enough momentum. But now he has DRS. Gasly has DRS as well? What? That is weird. You see these two, they do a bit of a touch, and Russell's able to regain that lead, but with their tussle there, they were fighting neck and neck. Stroll was able to catch up. Norris just fell back. But with the tussle between Russell and Gasly, the gap to us is now at 2 seconds. And that 2-second gap, we're on lap 17. We have 3 more laps to go. And we're gonna need every single 10th from that gap, because our car is out of place. Okay, I think I sound like a broken record, but our car is out of place. We are not supposed to be in 5th. We just played defense, elbows out, and DRS chicken. That's why we're here. And then holding up the field allowed us to kind of get away with the tussles and the fights between the cars behind us that we've kind of bunched up together with, kind of us really just holding back the rest of the field. And that's why you see like Russell and Gasly here, you see them like not fighting as much, and you saw that 2-second lead that we had heading into the front straight is now down to 1.2 seconds. We basically lost an eighth of a second in that short distance of the track. And basically, let's say we lost an eighth of a second in sector 1. That's how slow our car is. And the reason why they're catching up is they're not tussling anymore. You see Gasly going down to almost down to a second. He's gonna quickly get up with the help of the DRS. But actually, no, I was wrong. He didn't get. So maybe Russell used some ERS, or something's wrong with Gasly's car, tire wear maybe, because you see that Stroll is coming up to Stroll is catching up to Gasly. We have him 6 tenths away. Norris is catching up to Stroll. So this is gonna be interesting. We're gonna have a 4-car, I would say maybe a 3-car fight for 7th now, because Gasly's losing some pace against Russell, and Russell's within a second of us now again. So, and we should still be far from, we still have some time, but no DRS. He is half a second. That's how slow our car was. Man, this is so. And there you go. Now we have another. What's this? 6? If we include Ocon, because they're all within like a second of each other. A 6-car fight for 5th. On the penultimate lap, we're heading to turn 10. Half a second gap between us and Russell. Russell has DRS, but we've seen on other, not just on our battles, but the battles between the other cars, it's hard to overtake on the back straight here in Bahrain. It's just too short to mount an overtake, unless you're a Red Bull going against a Ferrari, I guess, or a Red Bull against a McLaren. All right, here we go, heading into the last turn. Russell 2/10. We're playing DRS chicken again, but we're keeping it close to the back of that Mercedes. We're gonna spend some ERS. DRS is on. We go on the attack. We pull on the inside. Go right beside them. We don't have the top speed, but we were just behind enough, hopefully, to have DRS through the second DRS zone and gap Russell a bit. No, we do not have DRS. Russell goes ahead. We keep the inside line and we push him a bit out, so Russell has to back out before he loses the car onto that turn. And here we go. It's just us, 2.5 seconds. But wait, before we forget, you have to check on Sainz. Sainz is heading to the last sector on the last straight before the last turn to the start-finish straight. He has a 1.7 second lead against Verstappen, and Sainz win the Bahrain Grand Prix, followed by Verstappen, followed by Hamilton, Perez, and here we are, still 2/10 away from Russell. We turn on our ERS. We're gonna use every single bit of that ERS. Russell, less than a tenth away. We are able to hold off to the position and turn more ERS on and cross the finish line right ahead of Russell. That, my friends, is a 5th place finish in our first race of the year here in Bahrain. Man, that was an insane
That's it then for another spectacular
race.
Grand Prix here in Bahrain, and a real champion's drive to take the win. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Here come our winners now, a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
We got 5th place. At the end of the day, our car was out of place is the right term. We played our cards right, we played our tactics right, and we held up the rest of the field. We did it. We kept 5th place. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you all the next time. This is Pango 12, signing out.